Hey everyone, I just wanted to go over my trial single target assassin rogue. So this is what I'm using for the new trial for most groups. It's the raptor setup. I'll make another video with the non-raptor setup as well, just for single target anywhere else. But I find the raptor just a little bit nicer. You can run a few different things to get more damage output and some more damage resistance on the bracers. But this is what I'll run for the new trial. And the thing is, the entire group doesn't have to have Raptor. If three people have it, you can run Viscard's Precipitation, right, and then you cap your power like that. So you can play around with it. So whatever group you're in, you can just kind of see where your power is and then adapt from there. But if everyone has Raptor, you'll have 90% power with this setup, and then you can run Van Braces, Spike Van Braces for the extra damage resistance and damage output. Okay, so let's go over the build. So this is the gear setup. So I have Grister Horns, obviously Bone Devil's Ribcage. Like I said, I'm running Spike Defender Braces if the entire group has Raptor, but if it doesn't, I will just run Risk Odds of Precipitation to get that extra power to cap it out. The entire group usually runs Mastercraft for the extra damage output and damage resistance and outgoing healing. It's just overall it's a great group weapon set. I have been in group for one DPS uses Lionheart for the extra damage output like that, but overall Mastercraft 100% is a great group weapon set. So just definitely run it. For artifacts, I have Duelist Flurry, increased damage. And my offhand, I have recharge speed, and then I have accuracy. Accuracy, like I said before in my other videos, you can change this one up to whatever you need, right? So if you're lacking something else, it's okay to miss some accuracy because the other stats are more important. All right, so just double check what you're missing, and then remember cap the power, combat advantage, crit strike, crit severity, right? Pretty much power, combat advantage first, and then crit strike, crit severity at once. Try to get them up at the same rate, okay? And then Wasteland Wanderers with critical strike. I have been in groups that run the Tutor. That gives 5% combat advantage. So if you want to get really thirsty for damage, you can run Rusted Iron Leggings for that 5% increase damage. But like I said, the incoming healing, you will lose some, so if you are dying a lot and the healer's yelling at you, just who cares if you're a little bit over, right? Just run the Wasteland Wanderers, and then everyone's happy. I have gotten the new set, the Mythalar set, right? It is definitely really nice for AoE for sure. Single target, I guess there is some debate for the best, but honestly, I think it's the extra hits constantly if you're in combat advantage is pretty insane. But I guess the demo set is definitely a good option. But the best part is Mythalar set's free. You just need to upgrade the artifact, and then you're good to go. And even if it was a little difference in single target with demo, this one's free, right? So it's just gotta do the campaign. Same thing, combat advantage across the board. I am running Red Eye Stare with the trial setup with Raptor. I can run this and have everything else maxed out. So it's a 10% increased damage against undead. The dragon in the first phase doesn't count as a dragon, so it's just undead and undead everything throughout. So it's a great ring to use during the new trial. Like I said, you can run some different ones. Red Eye's Stare, right? Or Red Eye's Glare, sorry. The Queen's Golden Opal Ring, if you don't have the Undead Ring and stuff like this, right? But you don't have to run the Legendary this ring. You can just run, if you have the blue or purple one of this version, it gives a little bit different stats. I think crit severity and one other one. So it's definitely a good option. And those ones drop a little bit more, right, than this one here. Obviously, Band of Air for the procs. And the shirt, I've been running this one with whenever you critically strike with your power, you have 10% chance to reduce your encounters. Cooldown by 1 second. I find if your counters are up more, right, you will be able to do more damage. And I've been testing this out between the shirt you get in the new campaign. This one's a great shirt too, but honestly, I think that over the entire trial, this shirt will be more efficient and more damage output. Because you can just get your encounters off more and more throughout the trial, and it's overall, I think it's really good. But like I said, if you are missing some combat advantage, this shirt here is awesome because it gives the 5% combat advantage, right? And then there's no real control resistance in the new trial, so it's all good. Okay, so definitely a good option, and this one's easier to get than this shirt, right, from the third mini boss and boss. But you can get the other shirts too, right, that have that one's too. Oh, I don't have it on. Okay, but yeah, so the other shirts and boss do the same bonus, which is really good. And then pants, I'm just running these ones here. These are from the second mini boss and hardcore boss, but you can run the other pants that have this benefit as well, right? And then there's other options you can try out that you want, like these ones here, the pants, the blue leaf. This is from Granny, right? Same exact bonus. And then that's pretty much it. So this is from Granny in the boss Sharandar 3. They're pretty easy to get. You just gotta do a few of them, and then hopefully get the awareness is what I wanted. So I got this one here, but you can, depending on your stats. And I had the journal set, storyteller set. It's kind of bugged. There you go. The set here, right? The things are bugged, but I designed 3 journals and then the Mythalar set. This will change depending on what you're in the group, right? They may ask you to run something else. It's all good. I have been in groups where I've broken up my journal set and I've still done the most damage in really elite groups. So don't get stressed out if you have to break a journal set. It's the group success, right? That's the most important thing, and you just got to go through with that. Okay, for stats, so this is I'm running strength and charisma. Charisma for our strength, right, for the stamina regen and physical damage boost, and charisma for the forte and recharge speed. So this is my stats unbuffed. As you can see, power, very low, just because when you have 5 raptors, it's going to increase a lot, right? And I don't have my Forges box procced anyways. So accuracy is going to stay right here. I don't have anything else procking this, so it's roughly 55%, which is perfect, right? It's good enough for over 50%, right? And then, but you can obviously increase it, but I would suggest what I'll go through with the companions is better than increasing the accuracy. So combat advantage, once in combat rate 5% more, and I'm also running acute senses for the companion bonus, and that will give me my 90% combat advantage. And then critical strike, obviously it is lower, but once I get my flask of potency, it increases by 3%. And then I have 10% from this, I have 12.5% from this as well, right? And then we have on average roughly 7% from this as well, right? So that's why there's a big, this is why it's a lot lower, right? But I tested out putting different things, but it does cap out your crit strike, even though it won't say it with that feat bonus, okay? So don't worry about that. And then crit severity, once I have flask of potency and squash soup, this goes to 76.5, and that's pretty, and it'll cap out, right, with ribcage. So then we're good to go with that. And that's pretty much that setup, and I'll kind of show you what it is before my boost up as well. For powers, Duelist Flurry, this is pretty much what I only use during the fight, during the new trial. Only time I'll use Gloaming Cut is, I don't use it often, but if Valinder gets stuck near the dragon when you're actually during the 3rd phase, this will kill you. This, at least you have a chance of just hitting the dragon, right? And then you're good to go with that. So both of these are really good. That's why, and this one causes the bleed effect as well. For encounters, I've tested out Path of Blades versus Blasting Blade, and Path of Blades with the ring, and then the new artifact set is definitely superior for damage output. It's just, like I said, same thing during the third phase mini trial. If you are, if the Linzer gets stuck underneath the dragon or nearby, this will kill you. So I will switch to Lashing Blade during during those times, just so we're good to go. And plus, honestly, like during the fourth and fifth phases when you have ads, right? This was always off. You don't have to keep switching on and off, and does more damage. And then you're taking care of ads as you're going to the phylacteries and support, right? So it's good to go. And then wicked reminder. This one I'll do under stealth, right? For the reduces the target's critical avoidance by 10%. I'll start this off first, and then we have assassinate, the last one. This one's a big damage dealer. And then pretty much shock and execution. This is the only one you'll use. This one is just a placeholder. All right. For our feats, when you use your daily power, your stealth meter is refilled. And then for 5 seconds after, your damage increased by 5%, right? So you can use 2 abilities under stealth, and then your damage is increased afterwards. So it's an awesome ability throughout. I pretty much run this in all my AoE and single target setups on the Rogue Assassin. And then when you have combat advantage, right, your power deal additional 20, right? So we have 100 from the new set, we have 20 from this, right? Then we have an extra 150 from this, right? So that's a lot of damage procs, that's extra ones that are coming out, right? So it's adding up a lot, and that's just happening a lot of times. So the damage is just keeps coming. And then all the way across the board, the bottom ones, right? Just for obviously the dot damage, you have the increased stealth regen. This stuns some mobs too, right? Which is very nice. And then applies that effect, right? That increases the damage output on the Skullcracker effect. And then I have this one on for the increased critical strike, average roughly around 7% based on people who have PC and they can test this out right in the software. So I'm relying on them. And then based on testing and stuff like this, I find it is better than this one. And then your attacks have a 5% chance to spawn a shadow figure that uses the final combo of Duelist Flare on the target. These are the boons. Pretty much everything's roughly the same. One very important one is this one, right? Increased damage and damage resistance versus undead. Like I said, everything's undead pretty much in the new trial. So other than the supports, I think the stands. But this one obviously will help out a lot. For obviously keep you alive, and then more damage output. But everything else is pretty much straightforward. All damage, and then the top ones we have Bloodlust, and then we have our Forte, and then we have recharge speed. Right, like I said before, you want to get those encounters up as fast as possible, just so we can keep those rotations going. Guild, this one I have critical severity. Like I said before, this can change to Crit Strike or Power, whatever one you're missing, right, to get maxed out. It's all good, okay? And then defense, I have awareness on. And then utility, if your guild has this, revive sickness, right? Because the chances of dying are quite high, are up there, right? So if you do die, it's all good. At least this kind of reduces the effect of the death penalty, as well as it reduces the time, right? So hopefully you will get this off you sooner, right? And then you'll do more damage if you do die. So it's overall it's best for the group, right? You don't really need to move around too much, but if you know you're not going to die, obviously movement speed is really nice too. All right, summoned. I have Albert Cub. Albert Cub, obviously. One of the best ones. Obviously, it's kind of expensive. The new Festival Tiger is really good as well. You just got to adjust the build towards that, okay? And then this gives additional bonus to accuracy, combat advantage, and critical severity. So very nice setup. The festival. What's the festival? I'm gonna find it here. Festive Tiger. There's so many. Oh, there it is. And the Festive Tiger gives combat advantage, critical severity, and forte, right? So based on your class, it depends on which one's best. But Like I said, the Festival Tiger was free a couple last week, and then this one's a little bit more expensive. So for my equip, these are all from Sharendar hunts. So I have Crit Strike, Crit Severity, Crit Strike, Crit Severity, and I have Crit Strike Combat Advantage. Like I said before, these can change based on your build, so just make sure you're testing it out to see which your stats are missing, right? It all depends on your build, but these are 3 that I'm using. There's many ones you can use, right? Other ones, Accuracy, Combat Advantage, right? Crit Strike, was it Crit Severity, Combat Advantage, Crit Strike, Accuracy. All these ones are easy to get from, not easy, but it's frustrating actually for the hunts. But these are, you can do this daily, right? And in multiple turns, and you're good to go. And then acute senses, right? This will cap my combat advantage with the build as well. So very nice. The biggest difference I've changed up was increasing my damage output over the stats. Okay, because the stats are pretty much capped for the ones I want. And then I tested some stuff out, right? Just overall damage output. These are definitely, I find, the best. So we have the Batiri, we have Minsk, obviously we have Raptor. This is the Raptor setup. You can buy Raptor for pretty cheap in the auction house, or you can get it and with your Reaper tokens as well. And the Reaper ones is cool because it's account bound and it becomes legendary, right? So then it's only 150 what's it called? Companion tokens to upgrade. So it's a good investment if you want to do that as well. Our group runs Raptor during normal. Our main group runs Raptor during normal, like boss runs or whatever, right? Just because we have it all now. And then Neverwinter's Night, right? So we have 3 companion bonuses that increase our damage, right? So massive amount of damage. Obviously, it's diminishing returns on the outgoing damage, but based on testing, these 3 are the best. Obviously, if you don't have it, you can just change it up, right? There's many ones you can do, like there's Phase Spider, right? In crit chance, crit severity. We have Red Slod, accuracy, crit severity, right? There's a lot of different ones you can do if you don't have these yet, right? So these ones definitely most damage output. And then Alchemist Discipline, right? This one is pretty cheap now, so it's definitely a good option. There's other ones too you can run. You can run right, Barbarian Shaman. There's, what else is there? You have the Golden Cab. This may help you as well, right? There's lots of different options, but this is the setup that I run that counts my stats. And then mounts, I have Giant Toad's Tongue Lash. It's the same as Tunnel Vision. I just like this a little bit better. It feels a little bit better to me, and especially if maybe the artifact call, someone's delayed. There is a delay when you click this, right? So maybe the last person will call their artifact, and then this will be under maximum damage. So it just I find it's just it fits my play style a bit better, and I find this it can do more damage based on the artifact call, right? And then Veracity. So Veracity, right? When your party members are struck by a foe, there's a chance you will gain a stack of Veracity, granting you 1.6% additional damage for 10 seconds. This stacks up to three times, so this can increase your damage by quite a bit, right? And then it's good to go with that. This one you can get from the lion in Amu. You can find that out, or you can buy I forget what the lion's called, Tarbet lion, something like that. Let's just see here. Some lion. I forget see if I can find it. Termish lion. Termish lion is the one that gives it, or the one you can get in Amu, and that just requires some farming. Okay, but this one is pretty cheap. I think it's like 300,000 Astral Diamonds in the auction house, so that's definitely an option too. And then, so I have my colors: crit severity, encounter and power, movement speed, and then the other 2 don't really matter, right? Stamina stamina gain is actually nice because you'd be diving a lot in the new trial. And then rep Astral Diamonds. So for my bonuses, right, I have 2 Assassins. I have Artificer's Persuasion. I find this really good for getting, because for timing of artifact calls, you can pretty much probably get an extra encounter cycle out pop this, right, and then it's 2 seconds off all your cooldowns, and then you can unleash everything during the artifact call. Combat maneuver. This one I gotta play around with because you can see I'm max combat advantage right now. I just haven't played around with it just yet of changing this up. Things I might do are maybe another Gladiator's Guile. Some other things I'll try out. I mean, I'll post an update in the text of this file later on the video. But you may need this, right? It gives 2500 combat advantage for 10 seconds. So it's kind of irrelevant to me with this setup. But like I said, Insignias are expensive, and we'll go from there. And that covers that. So kind of like the rotation that I'll be doing, right? So let's plot up then. So I have a Forges box, right? Remember, the first phase isn't a dragon, so you don't have to run your dragon potions and scrolls during the first phase. You can do it once you get the later platforms. You're not wasting these, okay? These ones are the pre-nerf ones, right? So they're going to get more expensive. So I'll run Flask of Potency. Obviously, I'll pop the Evocation Blessing because I have a billion of them. Squash Soup. And then I'll be running Sunlord's Gift Elixir. And let's take a look. So you can see here, everything's capped, right? Obviously, it's in orange. That's okay, right? So everything's 50% across the board, right? And then the power is a little low just because we don't have Raptor, right? So everything's looking very nice. So let's get close to. So like I said, auto attacking, right? I always forget the names of my abilities. Was it Glowing Cut? Yeah, Wicked Reminder and Assassinate. So I'll do Passive Blades, right? Stealth. Wicked Reminder, Assassinate, and then keep going, right? And if you look at, you see how the shirt's kind of procced it already. It's kind of nice, right? And you just keep going. You can throw your hawk anywhere. Make sure you're holding stuff like this. And then same thing for when I have my daily up and artifact call. So I'll be like artifact, passive blades, stealth, wicked reminder, daily, stealth, toad, right, and assassinate. And then I just keep going. So let's take a look at this, right? It's kind of 90, pretty much 90, and then the Chris Strike is close to 90 once 85%, right? Plus that feat that we have, it won't show it. So it's 90%, right? So if you look here, we have 90, we have 4 90s pretty much, critical severity, right? 1% off, who cares? But if you do care, you can get it to 90 if you want, and then accuracy stays at 56%. So that's kind of what it is, right? So, like I said, passive blades, stealth, Wicked Reminder, Assassinate, try to throw the hawk in if you can, and then you just get back to auto attacking. So that's the setup as I'm going there. If you have any questions, just post in the video down below. I'm more than always hoping to. There's one of my guildmates right here. I need Lion's Mace, OBGYN, and then it's good to go. But like I said, I'll post another video for single target that I run outside of the trial. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.